Welcome to CTV, the show right here at our Patreon and Twitch, where we talk about the latest TV shows that have come out that we have watched, primarily focusing on the superhero-themed TV shows. I'm Benny, known as the Comic Historian. That is Dan, known as Dan T. Whiteboard, Dan T. Producer, Dan T. Streamer, Dan T. Editor, Daniel.
Dan T. Drinker.
What?
Dan T. Drinker.
Dan T. Drinker.
Dan.
Daniel.
I don't like that.
Mr. Rumbles.
Boring.
Yeah.
And that's Gary. For Film Circuit.
That's right.
Or Papa G.
Papa G.
Papa G.
Papa G.
Mr. Nipples, another one for Dan.
Oh my gosh. Why?
Dan's Nips.
Why?
Dickle. He's also known as Dickle.
I haven't been called Gary Hulkin forever.
Oh, they do it all
yeah,
the time.
Gary.
I just
Oh, they
don't
do?
repeat it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Cockside
Cockside. That's another one, yeah.
or Danos.
Gary of the House of Cox.
It's just gonna be a giant.
So let's talk about Doom Patrol real quick, because
glad
it's
I
the
did.
beginning half
Yeah.
of the final episode. They basically broke it into two. Overall, I wasn't actually too impressed with it. It's setting up what is probably going to be a cool ending,
Right.
but it was just a setup.
Yeah.
Dan all week has been like, did you watch that really weird one? Did you watch that really weird one? So Flex Mentallo, do you know who that character is, Andy? I'm looking at you behind the camera.
Hold on. For the record, it's a good thing I did keep asking him because he had not watched the proper episode.
No, I did. No, I did.
No, you
I just
watched
didn't know the
Flex
new.
Mentallo.
I didn't know the week had rolled over yet. I
Okay,
would've
so
caught
that.
it.
So you didn't
Anyway,
watch
Flex
the-
Mentallo is a superhero that can manipulate space-time and everything by flexing his muscles.
Yes.
Literally, he's like,
He's like, oh, you need to do
is
this.
is it intentional?
Yes.
He has like control over it.
yeah.
Well, that's
He doesn't like pick up a pickle jar and he's like, oh no, I just wiped out half.
no.
no. So that's what happens
Okay.
in this episode.
Oh, really?
He accidentally flexes the wrong muscle, and everyone on the streets orgasms.
Yeah.
Wait.
Including the street itself.
Yeah, 'cause the
it's
street's
Danny
alive.
the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a movie like that I saw once.
But Dan wouldn't shut up about that scene because it bothered him.
It bothered you.
Yeah, he's very
No.
prudish.
What are you going on about?
I think it would.
You guys
bother-
know
It was just
okay,
one of
it
those.
would-
It was
it
just
would-
one of those episodes where it was like they seemed semi-serious, and then all of a sudden
That's
everyone
what I'm saying.
starts.
It would
I
bother
think his
me
purpose
from like
was to break up the
Yes.
seriousness they were going
Yeah.
into.
it would bother me from like a writing perspective.
Right.
Like this is the tone we're going with the show, and then this.
But there were also like some of the people that were doing it. You were kind of like, and more importantly, the beard hunter who's doing it. Like he's like staring at someone. He's like, it was just like, you made him creepy already. Why are you continuing this? But
I thought the scene was
Oh,
really
wow.
good, but overall,
Okay,
the
okay.
entire season of Doom Patrol is 100% worth watching. And they ended all the character development stuff, so now they're attacking the guy who literally knows they're in a show and everything.
Yes.
I love this comment of, I could just take down this whole streaming service if I wanted
Yeah.
to. So they're fighting him finally. And I mean, it's pretty much just setting up the next episode. There's not
And
much
you-
more to say about it.
and you also finally get a little bit of a history behind
Yeah.
Mr. Nobody of like how he or
Yeah.
why he became a villain and all of that stuff that led up to it, which
And,
was finally about time.
The
Yeah.
only big thing that came out of this episode for me, because the whole series has been,
Yeah.
the last 10 episodes have been character development driven, and that's it.
Incredibly so.
There was the moment in which Mr. Nobody trapped them all in their greatest fantasies, and it showed that they've grown beyond just wanting to go back.
Yeah.
They've all,
Okay.
because he put them all. He's like, I can change anything. I can put you back at where you were, and you know how to fix it. So what made your life a mess does not happen. And they've all grown beyond needing that. Because at the start of the series, that's what they all want.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Cliff, the robot man, wants to just go back to being Cliff. Jane just doesn't want all these personalities. Larry just wants to go back to being in the closet.
Okay.
He's already come out of the closet at this point. Rita can't accept herself. And this shows that they all have accepted this, and they've accepted where they are in life now.
Yeah.
So they're willing
Right,
to
right.
just go save Niles Calder.
Okay.
The cliffhanger,
Which was quite.
I was
wasn't
not as
fully
shocked by it.
See, I was shocked, but at the same time, I was like, I didn't expect like that in depth.
Well, so Niles Calder throughout the entire series, there's been foreshadowing that he was he's the character that has basically saved all these people.
Okay.
He gave them the home. They've all been in the mansion.
Okay.
They are all part of the Doom Patrol because he basically deems it and
Okay.
takes care of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been hinted that he's got more of a darker history throughout the entire series,
Okay.
that he may have manipulated certain individuals. He may have changed things by working for the Bureau of Normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
But they imply that he's been possibly trying to redeem himself for a little while.
Okay.
But I always had these like, what's going on with this? And
The entire time, you're like, he's hiding something,
Yes.
and you don't fully know what.
Like the big thing for me that made me start to realize that he's not all up front with everyone was the actual Doom Patrol in their other building. And the big reveal at the ending, and this is what Mr. Nobody has wanted him to reveal the whole time, is that he actually caused the tragedies to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I believe is actually a twist in the comics as far as I know. Because in
Okay.
the comics, that's not the case. Niles Calder's involved, although he wasn't in the newest version, I don't think, the Jared Way run. But in the original runs, I'm looking at Andy because I know he just had him do all the research on Doom Patrol. I don't believe Niles Calder's...
No, in one of them, it's canon that he was, in fact, the reason they all got messed up.
It wasn't one of the... Okay.
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 I forget which one. It was one of the earlier ones.
One of the earlier ones? Okay, so that is in the canons. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Doom Patrol's always been weird. I've never followed him super tightly.
Yeah.
But it's an awesome show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any in?
No, I mean that's about it. It's a good show. I still say I don't know if it's a good show because it's a good show or because of all the other shows I have to watch around it, and if it's just a lot
Yeah.
better.
No,
by
it's a good
comparison.
show, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us
Okay.
to what happened in Legends, Dan. Because Flash is for the end, guys. We got
right.
shit to say.
So it's essentially we're just continuing with whole Ray has Neron inside him. Constantine's in hell. Constantine's trying to save Ray, and I mean, not a whole lot happened.
Right.
I mean, it's very interesting. Actually, it's pretty great how Neron's planning of stealing the souls of pretty much everyone on the planet. He's trying to get them all to download an app where in the terms of service, it says, you are giving your soul to Neron. And he's trying to get all of these souls so
Right.
he can become the
Right.
new king of hell, pretty much. And that's really all that happened. I mean...
Aren't they having their season finale next week? Or
I
this
think so, yeah, next week.
Okay.
I mean, there were a bunch, everyone in chat always tries to point out these small things that happen, but I didn't really feel like anyone are so noteworthy that I'm like, oh man, Nora became the godmother, fairy godmother. And it's like, it happened once, they didn't really do much with it. I'm sure the next episode they'll go more into it, but.
I guess tonight is the season finale.
Oh yeah, tonight is when
Okay.
the
Okay.
finale goes.
So,
But yeah, that's
what was the other show we watched?
Okay.
Do you want to talk about?
Flash, Doom Patrol.
I didn't watch Arrow yet. I said I
Are
didn't
we
catch
are
that
we
one.
adding the Orville yet to our roster?
Well,
We
it's-
already
it's-
talked
wait.
about
Yeah,
it.
we did actually. Where were you?
Did we?
You
talk
were
about
on
it?
the show.
Yeah.
It was you
Like
and
this-
me, and he
Oh,
interrupted.
I think it's because I hadn't quite finished it yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk
No, it's
about the
fine.
last
No,
few
it's fine.
episodes?
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. We can wait
Oh,
until
I mean, the
next
Orville's
season.
been renewed, so we can talk
we'll-
about it.
We'll
It's
just
not
wait
just
until
done.
yeah, we'll just wait until the next season.
Okay,
So-
Game of Thrones. We're gonna talk about at the ending. Andy and I will have some choice words. Choice
Okay.
words.
Most of those words are swears.
Most of those words are swears and us being bored.
There you go. All right.
So what was the shows we're gonna watch in the summer are we're probably gonna watch Supergirl. Deal with it. And Black Lightning. Deal with it.
That one sounds at least a little better. At least I'm not stuck.
And
with
Andy
Supergirl.
is gonna watch Nancy Drew.
Well, oh yes.
Suck
Wait,
it.
Andy's hazing into the TV show podcast is Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
Use the summer to catch up on all the shows I didn't watch.
That's what I mean. You're gonna be catching up on all. What's
Okay,
the worst
so-
show we can give Andy to watch?
Supergirl.
Oh, so you want to give him Supergirl?
I will take Nancy Drew.
No, if we want to give him,
I'll take Nancy Drew.
I think if we want to give him the worst show,
Yeah.
he'll watch this season of The Flash.
That's true.
Sabrina, I've actually already seen.
Sabrina. Oh yeah.
I got bored of Sabrina, but I heard it got better midway through.
That, yeah.
I keep hearing this.
I always
Does every
hate
show
that.
just get better as you
Right.
continue watching? Just hang in there for 4 seasons. It'll get better. Trust me.
I know, I'm tired of that. Whatever
Yeah.
happened to a show that 3 episodes in, I'm like, this is the greatest show ever.
Yeah, seriously. No, you just gotta wait 3 seasons, really get invested in the
Right.
characters, maybe read some of the fanfic, and you'll be good. You'll start sort of enjoying it.
Right.
Sort of.
Yeah.
sort of.
I could throw in something. I watched the new Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah. How
Okay.
was that?
Episode 1 was okay.
Okay.
That was the comedian. Everything he said, if he said a real life thing, it became the
that's
funniest
right.
joke in the world, but it would erase from his life. So what would you give up for fame? And he was becoming a huge
Okay.
comedian because
So his own real life stories.
yes,
essentially.
So if it involved
Okay.
his wife was gone. If it involved his son, and that's where the obviously you know the
Okay.
Twilight Zone, you know where the sense of going. But
Yeah, he loses everything.
I would become a human being with no sense of humor.
That one I thought was okay.
Yeah.
The
Like, I
second
would
one was
just-
a recreation of the airline, Terror at 30,000 feet. That was pretty cool. I liked the twist.
Yeah. With the original with William Shatner.
You're right.
Yeah,
so
where the creature's on the wing and
the twist for this one
Okay.
is that it's not the creature on the wing.
Okay.
Is that there's a terror. So he gets a radio podcast as he gets on. Somebody left it. And he listens to it because I always put headphones in for things people leave behind on my seat at the airport at the airline. But anyway, he puts it in, and it's a podcast talking about the flight he's on going missing.
Okay.
And so he's listening and he's trying to clue into without. Although I would have just jumped to the end of the. Okay, let's go to the end of the recording. So what exactly happened?
Right.
Yeah.
So he's listening to portions and he's creating the same exact problem that happened with William Shatner, and he's figuring out what's going on, only to realize that what makes it go missing is what he does building up to that. It's one of those situations where you can
Okay.
create the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. The third one was
Don't mind the vase, basically.
yeah. The third one
From The Matrix.
Yeah.
I
Had it-
just watched The Matrix the other day.
The
It's on
third-
Netflix
Not for the
now.
first time.
No.
Okay, I was like,
Yes, it's
the way you
first
said that, I
time
was like, I
have
don't
ever
know.
seen The Matrix was
Maybe.
the other day.
Okay, what were
The
you gonna
third
say?
one was probably the most topical and racially charged one.
Okay.
Keep in mind, Jordan Peele's an executive producer on this.
Yes.
The guy that made Get Out, the guy that made Us.
Yes.
The science fiction concept actually was pretty weak. The woman had a camcorder that would rewind time, and they're being chased down by a racist cop. So
Okay.
like he would box them in. The situation goes wary. He shoots her son. Rewind. They do it a couple of times. This episode is probably the strongest out of the three.
Okay.
But I didn't feel very Twilight Zone about it. It felt very much just like let's get to the thing and let's go through
Like
a
a
normal.
social commentary.
It was a social
basically.
commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't feel
Yeah.
Twilight Zone. But I felt
Okay.
it was the like if you were just watching this as a standalone like movie or something, that was the strongest out of the three
Right.
to
Okay.
be a standalone piece.
Okay.
So I felt weird about that one just because of that. I'm like, well, it's not Twilight Zone, but
Right.
I enjoyed what I watched.
Right.
The fourth one I haven't seen yet, but it's been pretty good so far. It doesn't compare to Black Mirror. I feel like Twilight Zone's past its prime. Like you,
Oh,
I think you
sure.
really
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
go
yeah, yeah.
weird and crazy.
I mean, at
and
some
Yeah.
point, you just got to let a franchise go.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Sadly, that
ultimately,
doesn't
or
happen anymore.
I know it doesn't. Anyway,
But so far, it's been very predictable to an extent. It's
Right.
It feels like if you've got nothing else to watch.
Is it predictable because you've seen Twilight Zone?
No,
or
no,
is it
no. They
predictable
changed it
because
because
of
like
the show
Terror
itself?
30,000 Feet was a gremlin on the wing.
Right.
Yeah.
This one was a terrorist, and
Right.
it's totally different
It's a
plots.
terrorist. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Okay.
and then I also saw. I don't know if anybody else saw this before we go into Flash.
Yeah, what's
the
that?
Big Bang Theory finale.
I've never watched The Big Bang Theory. I've seen passing clips of the show.
It's so the problem. Okay, so Big Bang Theory. I'm gonna go a little thing about this. People don't realize this, but in my opinion, I feel like Big Bang Theory is a part of what ushered the current age of geekdom. Big
I
Bang
would
Theory.
have to agree with some of that. Yeah.
Big Bang Theory became so popular that whatever they talked about was normalized.
Sure.
And they talked about comic books, video games, and yes,
Well-
they laughed at the stereotypical nerd and geek.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But it became so popular
Yes.
that it was like, well, I want to meet a Leonard or a Sheldon.
Right.
Yep.
The show, in my opinion, was great up until the premise was gone.
Yes.
Like many sitcoms.
Yes.
Once Leonard married the hot girl. Once
Yep.
Sheldon found the girlfriend. Once each of the friends
Yep.
found their
Yep.
wives, and they were all having
Right.
kids, and it shifted away from
They have
like,
kids now?
Yeah, they have kids at the end of the
Jesus,
show.
I missed a lot.
Yeah. I don't think it was a terrible show, and thank you so much, Goku-san, for that tier 1 sub for 9-month streak.
Thank you so much.
I feel like when I was watching Big Bang Theory, it became more of a just what I did. There was an episode, I just watched it. You know, it wasn't like I went out of my way to watch it, but I just watched it.
Right.
As the premise was kind of going away, and the plots kind of got weirder and weirder. Like one became an astronaut, and it was cool to see them accomplish all these crazy things and do well. They all became more socially not awkward. You
Right.
know, and things
But that
kind of
goes. That was the whole thing of the
Yeah,
show.
that was the whole plot of the show. That
Yeah.
was.
Right.
And that's what I said. Like the basic premise of the show
So
kind
the
of
show,
went away.
what you're saying is the show just went too long.
I feel like it did go too long,
Yeah.
but they did end it in a very good way.
Okay.
What I feel the last 2 episodes, they finally, Sheldon and his wife, I think it's his wife or girlfriend at the end. Wife, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember the
wife.
marriage episode now. Yeah, because just like this episode, Sheldon infuriates all of his friends. They don't want to show up to the wedding.
Okay.
Like every
Okay.
episode. with
So this
Sheldon.
one, they won the Nobel Prize.
Okay.
Like as a way to
Right.
send off a show about not physicians. What was it? Theoretical physicists.
Gotcha.
Like Nobel Prize is the peak of where they're going to go.
Right.
They won the Nobel Prize, and then the whole episode was a great look back on the way the show was handled. Its primary star
Okay.
was obviously Sheldon Cooper's character.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, considering
you-
he's getting a spin-off
Yeah.
of young Sheldon.
That's been going on for like 3 years now, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
that
not
doesn't
terrible either.
That doesn't change that it's a spin-off
No, no, I
of
know.
that
Okay,
character.
yeah, yeah.
It's actually not bad. It's unlike it's not a sitcom show. It's like a single. What's it? A multi-camera dramedy kind of thing. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good
okay.
actually. I like
Yeah.
it. But anyway, the way they did it was really interesting because once again Sheldon did the exact same thing. Like they all flew over to see be his reward, and
Right.
he treated them all like crap. Like Leonard and Penny gave up the news that she was pregnant. And he was just like, "Oh, okay, that doesn't involve me." Like things that your friends don't do. They're socially awkward. They don't get it.
Right.
And Amy, his wife, was like, "No, your friends tolerate you. They're your friends." And he's always like, "Well, they'll be there. They'll be there no matter what." And it's like, but will they? If you
Right.
keep doing this over and over and over. And of
Yeah.
course, in the end, they were. They were at the celebration,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
did a final send off saying goodbye to everyone. But it was like, oh, these are my friends. This is what they've accomplished, and I couldn't have done everything without them. And it was like the one time in the show where he truly acknowledged everyone around him
Right.
Yeah.
as like a nice kind of circle round of
Right.
the character of Sheldon at this
Okay.
point.
Gotcha.
He went from being the guy that he just didn't even want to have furniture in his house.
Yeah.
You know, to the guy that now is acknowledging everyone that helped him get to where he is. And I thought it was a nice little send off for the entire show, for a show that's gone on way too long.
Yeah.
But, Andy, what did you think? I'll relay what you say, but what did you think of the ending?
For Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
No, I honestly, I agree. I think it was a good way to end it finally. Kind of Sheldon growing.
Okay.
Finally growing a little bit as like a human being.
Yeah. If you couldn't hear him, he agreed that it was a good way to show him finally growing as a human being.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, the rest of the characters had kind of. I feel the show became about Sheldon once he was the only one that was still what the show was about.
Yeah.
Socially awkward
Right.
geek who couldn't catch on because everyone else kind of moved on. We're
Yeah.
getting married.
Right.
We're having kids. This is
Their
what normal life is.
characters peaked basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So that was the ending of Big Bang Theory.
Huh.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, and then in the ending of Game of Thrones, Big Bird died again. So
Big Bird.
You just love hitting this table.
I don't know why.
I know.
So
Wait.
any more shows before we go into?
Didn't you just say Game of Thrones? Aren't you going to?
No, Andy and I are going to
Oh,
rant
okay,
about that
okay,
again.
okay, okay.
Because that was
Right.
one of those shows that if we spoil for the wrong person,
Yeah.
it only aired yesterday.
Yeah.
That's
We,
why
we never do that.
yeah, we're going to use it as our
Yeah,
end
yeah,
piece
yeah.
so that people can leave
Okay.
if they don't want it.
Gotcha.
Like usual. Then
Okay.
Game-
You mean like end of the
yeah,
show?
we're going to do everything
Okay.
else and then we'll come back to Game of
Okay,
Thrones.
I thought you meant end of CTV, and I'm like, people will.
No. We got to do Comic Story Weekly next, and then they got to talk about Rage 2, and I'm going to jump in on that one because I don't like it.
All right.
Okay.
So,
What was that?
I have to tell this story. So we're sitting down like to watch TV. It's the end of the day, and I look at Marcy and I say, "Okay, there's only one episode of The Flash left," and she goes, and she was like, "Fine." I was like, "It's only one." She was like, "Fine," and yeah. So that's how we started that evening.
Yeah.
And this is the same woman who 15 minutes into the first episode looked at me and said, if you don't want to watch this show, I will watch it without you.
Right.
That's how much she loved.
Because
the-
Flash season 1, 2,
it was
and
great.
3. 1 and 2 are great.
1 and 2.
3
1 and
did
2.
what most shows do when they've
Yes.
gotten way too much success. They don't quite know what to do. They're running
Yep.
out of steam. You could have very easily recovered from the Savitar season.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like, it wasn't terrible.
That was season.
in comparison now,
three.
the Savitar season is like Shakespeare.
Yeah. So I would agree with that.
At least
I would
it
agree.
made sense
was-
the whole way through.
So let's break it down.
I didn't see that season.
How did the episode open? So it opened with who even cares? Sorry.
They broke the satellite and Nora showed up. That was the beginning. Because they picked up where they left off in season 4, where she showed up and said, "Mom, Dad."
Oh, you're talking as the season as a whole. I was
Okay,
like,
so
the
based on
last
the co-
episode didn't start like that.
no.
Overall, we don't like the whole season as a whole, guys.
Yeah,
just so you
no,
know.
no.
Now,
Second
based
half.
on the comments of the show that I put, the rant I put up,
Right.
Sarah Jessica Parker, or whatever her name, Sarah something.
Jessica Kennedy.
That one. She's like 32, 33.
She gets older.
really?
She gets older every time you bring it up.
No. They were telling me she's actually in her 30s. She's the oldest out of the
She
cast.
does
Is she
not.
Other
really?
than Harrison Wells, apparently.
She does
That
not look
wow. That's
That's not me joking because
that's
I said in
surprising.
I said in the rant I think she's like mid 20s and they're like no, she's the oldest.
it. Jessica Parker
Wow.
Kennedy.
How strange would it be to treat another actor or actress like they're your child and they're older than you? That
Right.
would be like, at least if they're younger than you, you can get behind that. But no, so how did
She was born the same year as me. She's 35.
She's 35. You're kidding me.
She looked great for being 35.
She was born on October 3rd, 1984.
So what you're telling me is that when she auditioned,
Also, this image, she's hot as hell. What
she
the hell?
asked. So
Oh, hot damn. Okay.
Just go
she
to her
asked-
IMDb, guys. That's all you got to do.
so she probably asked like, so how old is my character? 25.
But you act 16.
But Act 16.
Actually, now that I think
so her
about
character
it,
is like 10 years younger than she is.
that does partly explain why her acting younger doesn't fully feel right.
Right.
Because she is acting so much
She's acting
younger
younger than she should be.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And that actually could
Yeah.
influence the way her character was acting, that we even were like, wait,
Right.
what age is this
Yeah,
girl?
yeah.
She was in
Wow.
Smallville as who?
Was? Yeah. as
Oh my
who?
God.
She wasn't a part of the main cast then.
No.
Okay, so the episode.
So they open up, the episode opens up, and they're getting ready to fire the mirror gun onto the dagger. And
Yes.
Dibney steps in the way, stretches into the way,
Yep.
and he gets all blockified. And then he passes out, and then they're like, why did he do this? And
Right.
So
Am I
let's
the
pick-
only
let's
one,
pick up from there.
based on that, am I the only one that gets kind of annoyed when they do the slow motion things and they're clearly moving so much faster?
Oh, yeah.
Like, because it's a combo. There was another one. So there's this one, obviously, he shoots the gun and he has time to stretch from all the way over here into the way
Yes.
before it actually goes.
Yes.
But the other one was actually in the previous couple episodes ago when Nora or Iris and Dibney show up when Nora's speaking with Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
And Nora runs off. And Iris, in the time that she runs off, actually does a full move and reach for her in the span of a speedster running away. And I was like, that is...
yes. The way
I
they
was a
measure
speedster.
speed in the show has never been consistent.
No, it's
never
not.
been. So literally in like one episode, especially in this season, they could move fast, so fast that everything around them is sitting still.
Yeah.
But then 5 minutes later, they can't seem to move fast enough to stop somebody from like punching someone. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like it's absurd. Yeah.
The episode just...
It felt like multiple episodes shoved into one.
The problem with the whole season is
Like
they just
too
tried to run
rushed.
way too many plot threads. And
did.
after the mid-season finale,
Yeah.
they just seemed to go, fuck it, throw it all.
Pretty
'Cause
much.
We all agreed up
yeah.
to the mid-season they were doing great.
To the point where Cisco's send off, I couldn't have cared less.
No, I didn't care at
I was
all
like,
about a send-off.
Great,
Oh my
see you
God.
later. So for some reason, you can't be a member of Team Flash without your powers. Weren't you
Part
a
of
member of
me-
Team Flash without your powers before?
Part of me
I
just
mean,
wanted him to be like, okay, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this. I'm going to go to a different Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay me a
So-
ton of money to come back to this Earth later on.
What I find funny is that they couldn't even get the actress who played Sherlock's love interest to just walk through the door of the other Earth's CC Jitters.
Oh, yeah.
The door opens and you assume it's her.
Yeah.
So you couldn't even just show her walking through the door. Like,
She probably didn't come back. So this show's horrible. I don't,
I don't want to be here. Yeah. Yeah. The whole thing was a mess. And the way time like readjusts itself because of the dagger, that also makes no sense at all. The fact that destroying the dagger makes Nora not exist.
Oh, someone brought up a
Doesn't
really
make
good point about the dagger. Here's an even
any
better
sense.
point. They got rid of the dagger. Female cicada vanishes. She made it a point the dagger didn't exist in her timeline.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why would that even affect her?
The girl's obviously still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
The dagger's not even in her timeline.
Yeah.
But it made her disappear.
Or
but it made her disappear. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff.
And
'cause
she
there was
disappeared right
also-
away. might
It was
I
very
add.
instantaneous, which bothered the hell out of me.
Yes.
Because then they go into the future and Reverse Flash is like, oh, the dagger's gone. Time doesn't correct itself. Watch me kill all the guards.
Time
then
doesn't
they
correct
reverse
itself.
that
Yes.
again. What
That's
the
exactly
Yes.
what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Like the whole they reversed time. Oh, you know how to reverse time now.
Since when?
One.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Two. You didn't fly around the planet in the opposite direction enough. That's not reversing time. Get your shit together.
That's actually, never mind.
That's physics.
Everything.
If you weren't aware, you reverse
That's how
the
time
planet
works.
to
Yeah.
reverse time.
Yeah. It's like a clock.
No, the fact that they didn't just go, okay, instead they came to that time. Because that's always my problem with The Flash is somehow this only affects it at this point in time, not the fact of everything going
Oh,
up
yeah.
to that one. Like we always talk about where it's like, well, why was he in prison if the dagger had disappeared?
Yeah. That whole timeline
It
wouldn't
did.
have
No, it
happened.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like one moment is permanently linked with another.
The problem is this: they're playing on two different time travel rules.
Yeah.
If you're going with Back to the Future logic, then he wouldn't have been in prison.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this whole thing couldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Because you've corrected the timeline.
Right.
So he would none of the whole entire time.
He would have no memory of it.
Right.
Well,
At the
he
same
would.
time, they also tried to do the endgame
necessarily.
logic.
Reverse Flash is a paradox when it comes to time travel. Like it doesn't fully
He's not in
affect
this.
him
No,
in the
no,
same
he's
way.
not in this.
Yeah.
That's a comic thing.
Yeah.
He was out of the timeline when they fixed the timeline. He's not in this.
Yeah. Because you can. Because
His actual powers do not make him a time paradox.
Yes.
In
reason
the
he-
comics, he is though.
The reason he became a time paradox
Yeah.
in the comics is when Barry did Flashpoint, the big reveal that Barry did it, not
He
Reverse
was in
Flash.
the Speed Force.
He was out of time.
Yeah.
So when time corrected, he had nowhere to go and he wasn't erased because
See,
of
I
it.
thought that was
Right.
the whole point of his negative Speed Force was that he wasn't tied to normal time.
I think you have to be in the negative speed force.
Yeah.
in order
Either
for
way,
that, yeah.
continue with what you were
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is that it's so questionable at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because maybe
Well,
they
none
made
of
a
it-
time
none of-
paradox and no one even knows.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
was in an
yeah, and that's the
off-panel
thing.
thing.
It was between commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We discovered he was a time paradox again.
Yeah.
Because that's his whole thing in so you don't know in the comic books.
Right.
That he's come back quite a bit since the event of Flashpoint
Okay.
2011.
Okay.
And the reason is he's become a time paradox by being out of time when they fixed time.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
because of that, when they kill him, he's not dead.
Gotcha.
He's literally just comes from a different time period.
right.
He's become
Which they
so
hold on.
tried to do in the series, but they never quite effectively.
Was
did
there
it.
something in one of the seasons I missed that would allow him to actually still be alive after the whole first
They
season?
claimed it was a time remnant, which they never really explained.
Okay.
are
That-
you also talking about the
that-
one where they killed on Legends? I don't know how that fits in anything.
A version.
Oh,
of,
yeah, that one too.
They killed him in
So-
Legends also.
They basically claim that because the Reverse Flash is like a time traveler, this is what he does. That in somewhere in some time he's still out there and he could get wind of what's changed or whatever at any point. So he technically never really goes away. But
So he's a
but
paradox.
they use
but
that
he's
in the
not
comic.
actually but he's not. But they don't establish it as a paradox. All they say is he's still out there in time somewhere because he came here in the first place. Because he came here in the first place, like he existed before he came here.
Right.
Therefore, he's still in the future, which still.
But
anyway.
it's still also one
So
of
the
those ones that
Yeah.
existed because he's in Harrison Wells' body, but
Right.
he's clearly not the one from Legends
Right.
because he's.
But
no
if they
longer
use that,
in
the thing
body.
is, if they use that logic, they could use the same logic with Nora.
See, this argument
Because
is
she
why the
disappears.
time travel sucks in the
Yeah,
show.
because she disappears, but technically she still exists in the future to come back at all.
But they've corrected the timeline. She doesn't exist at all anymore.
Yeah, because now it's Dawn and Dawn.
No, I know that, but
Which-
they haven't technically established that either in the show.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because what you said, the reason the Reverse Flash survives no matter what in the comics
Yeah.
is that time paradox
Yeah.
rule.
Yeah.
He's always out there because
Yeah.
he's always traveling. So he just goes,
Right.
oh, if I go there, I'm going to die. So I auto-correct my timeline.
Right, exactly.
Which basically turns him into the real one and the one they killed into the time paradox.
Right, exactly.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Well, no, thinking about it, if it was a time remnant, it had to have been him because the whole thing with Cicada was the fact that they went to that version of the Reverse Flash when he was Harrison Wells in the season where he died because what's his face shot
Right, but
himself.
now he gets wind that he may die down the line and changes things up again. That's the point.
Yes.
Yeah, but like it's
Yes.
also the same one because it's when Nora showed up, she said Cicada, and that's what allowed him to know for the future.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like,
Which means that in the Flash's timeline, he still allowed himself to die.
oh, I
even
hate
even
time
though he
travel
knew,
in the
yeah. Oh, I know
Flash.
it's awful. It's awful. So one of the biggest, one of the 100,000 plot holes in this episode,
Right.
was that they have no problem going through time, reversing time, and traveling through time in like every which way direction. You know, like it's a
Like,
tablet.
that's a
like-
whiteboard rant.
like
Why
it's a-
does the Reverse Flash never die?
Yeah.
Well, here's how it works in comics. CW?
They could very easily, to keep Nora alive, the Flash could have said, Nora, while you're disintegrating, hang on. Ran back in time to right after they destroy the satellite, so the Flash survives and Nora's still there, and just gives her a quick rundown. Hey guys, guess what? This is what's happening. That's your Cicada guy. Just lock that dagger away forever. And wait, I'll be right back. And he runs back, grabs a cure, comes back, says, give this cure to the girl and to him. Okay, we're all good, right?
Right.
Like,
For the record, they said that they can't time travel and change time because they don't know what it's going to do. So they don't change time ever until it's the big season finale where they just
Okay.
change everything.
And then
it's
we've
like me
also-
saying, yeah, I don't drink coffee.
Because the other weird thing is they're always like, the whole point of it was they never caught Cicada.
Yeah.
So how'd they get the dagger?
He lost it.
Oh no, because the dagger's not actually tied to the Cicada. That's what she said. It doesn't exist in her timeline.
But it had to have existed because that's
Because
what
that's what's
prevents
keeping
him
Reverse
from-
Flash.
I
Exactly.
know!
Yeah, the dagger doesn't exist in my. Oh wait.
For the record, even the comics make fun of the amount of times that Barry breaks time. One, Andy,
know. Oh,
time
it's awful.
flies, speedster time travel bullshit.
Yeah.
But
So-
in the comics, they make fun of it because Booster shows up and they're like, well, I think the timeline's been changed. Flash, did you go through time again?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Literally said
yeah.
that.
Did you
Like,
go through time?
And
Yeah.
Flash's like, hey, why could you? And he goes, Flashpoint? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I can imagine, like, yeah, I forgot my keys back in 1841. I had to run back and get them. Don't worry, I'm done.
Stepped on a few bugs.
Yeah, stepped on a few bugs. But no, that's true because if the dagger didn't exist in her timeline, then how is it keeping reverse? It does exist in her timeline.
Well, no, I don't think she
Can
says.
we disagree? This
Hold
season
on.
sucks.
I don't think she said it doesn't exist. I thought she said she didn't have it.
No, I think they established that it doesn't exist
I think
for
the establishment doesn't exist.
because if future cicada.
clearly
Okay, if
exists.
Cicada 2.
Look,
Okay.
can we just agree that the season's over and they've rewritten the timeline?
Yes, they
Nowhere
have.
doesn't exist. Reverse Flash is free again, and we're whatever.
The season is over, and it's made me not interested to even
I-
try the next season.
I have no interest in
It's
six.
so bad.
That's what came out of this. Was it was so bad that I don't really even
Because
want to
we kept
give
getting
it a chance.
rumors, right? We kept getting rumors that Caitlyn was going to leave, and now
Yeah.
she has a new costume.
Maybe she's going to Legends.
Maybe,
right?
maybe.
Where
They-
superheroes go to die.
They said that Joe West was possibly going to leave, and now he's captain.
That
Yeah.
one blows it because I think he's still leaving, but they made him captain.
So he's going to play as.
They're going to phone him in.
Yeah,
phone
they're
him
gonna
in
phone
from
him in
LA.
as
Yo, what
captain.
up, Barry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would make sense. Okay, that would make sense. He's
He can
basically
pull that one off.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
So
a separate
it's-
set in
right,
LA. He
right.
flies in for 2 group shots.
He's
Right.
always too
Yeah.
busy because he is captain. To
So we're going to
actually
shoot
talk to
everything
them.
for you for the entire season in like a half hour.
Right.
Right,
So,
and then he
yeah.
just flies in for 2 for the crisis
Exactly.
events or something, and that's the end of
Who
that.
else is leaving? Dibney, but they didn't establish that
Is
either.
he?
No, I don't think he
I
was
don't know.
leaving.
He's not leaving. Okay,
Good, because
well,
he's actually one
Vi
of the best.
definitively
in-
left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he-
well, I could tell because he's like, I got a girlfriend now. I can't be
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, he's using the Rob mentality.
Whoa!
Oh my God. Shit.
Wow, only you can say that.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow. Sorry,
damn.
Rob.
Oh, come on. We hung out with him yesterday. I love
I will
Rob.
No, I
say
know, it's-
one
Mariah's
thing-
great.
One thing I did kind of like about the episode was the fact that Singh knew Barry was Flash.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, I'm a detective as well.
Yes.
And you could see the face of Barry of just like,
Now,
Okay, I'm glad I don't have to hide
Singh's
it
departure would have meant more had he been in the show more.
yeah.
Yeah.
However, I
mean
think
anything.
the fact that he wasn't in the show as much allows them to do what's his face? Joe West as the
As the
captain,
captain.
and have it make sense that he's not always in the show because Singh was not.
Singh wasn't always
in
in
the
the
That's
show.
true.
show. Yeah, that's
So,
true, yeah.
Joe West, the actor, could be leaving.
Yeah.
But he could just fly in for a couple shots.
Exactly.
It's just
And that's
referenced a lot. Hey, I just met with Joe, and
Yeah.
And that could very easily be CW going, okay, we can't lose the entire cast. Can any of you just fly in for a couple things?
Right.
Yep,
And maybe Caitlyn was like, I'll come in for an arc in the middle,
Right.
right.
and that like pay me for that, and I'll go back to LA and find other work.
Go hang out with the Legends people, like you said. Yeah,
And they're
Yeah.
in Canada too. So
yeah. Oh, I know they're all in Canada. Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know. Like, what else? Nothing. Yeah, nothing made sense. Oh, you were not kidding. When the time machine comes through the portal at the
Yes.
right at just the right moment, at literally just
But not
at
even
flash
that.
speed,
Yes. Exactly.
at the right moment.
Because it's such a awkward. He's running and then just. Boom! It's like those kid videos where like someone throws a giant
Yes.
ball at a kid and they're just like,
Yes.
and Reverse Flash is like, oh no!
yeah,
Okay, you
I
cannot
can't
tell
run
me
around
that
this.
that's yeah, exactly. You can't tell me that thing is moving fast enough for him. That it's moving so fast that he can't just run around it
Or just vibrate.
or just vibrate
or that
through
too.
it. The fact that it just takes him out.
Yeah.
and with really bad animation, by the way.
Yes.
It was like they cut out it like a still of him and just kind of moved it on the. It was pretty bad.
it was. Oh my.
And then they're all out of the ship, so they all fit in the ship. It's like a one-person ship.
No,
mind you.
I love that it was like a clown car moment because
It
they're
was a
all
clown
out and we
car
didn't see anybody get out of the ship.
Yeah.
Or walk through the portal.
Go walk through the portal.
Because the portal was up here. And then they're all out and like in line, like we're all in formation, right? Looking
Right.
posing. Okay. In all that, like they had the time to do that. Oh, yeah.
So what do you guys think about the crisis?
Who even opened
speed
the
up?
portal to send the things through? They're all standing there.
Well, it was a time portal. This is the ship opened the portal.
Damn you,
But
time travel!
But I mean, did they like take notes?
Yeah,
Like,
they were
okay,
like-
so by our historical records of the future, the
that
reverse
doesn't
flash
technically exist
doesn't
yet because we
technically
haven't
exist
gone
yet.
there and we haven't come.
Yeah, the reverse flash will be running at Barry at exactly this time. You know, we could go back like a few moments before that and team up before he like gets his powers because
Yeah.
technically the dagger's still there because it like disappeared.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, if you're using time travel, why aren't you using it more smartly?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Barry should just
Or
go
why
back
not
before
reverse
all this
time
happened.
to before the dagger's taken off of him.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much in
But then if
this.
you want to use the logic of, well, it didn't exist because it removed in the timeline, then he's not in jail. And we're just
Right.
back in a loop. So what you guys think of the crisis tease?
The
Rewind on time?
I thought that was stupid.
dumb.
Also, because
Yeah, it was
isn't
dumb.
it next year? I thought.
Yeah, that's the point.
The next big
They'll
crossover.
do it in
event.
December.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll do
Apparently,
it.
we're going to get
Yeah.
3 episodes of it in December, and then we're going to get 2 episodes of it after the midseason.
Okay, because I was like,
Wow.
Yeah,
I
it's
think-
their
okay.
most ambitious one yet.
Yeah.
And it's going to cross over into Batwoman, Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, and Legends.
it's clearly them going, oh shit, we kind of screwed the pooch here. Let's bring in the event that people
Actually,
might
they're like,
actually want to
so
watch.
do you think the show's actually going to go until 2025?
Yeah.
No. Okay, 2019.
They
Roll-
didn't even
roll
they
it
weren't
back.
even safe going 2020. No, 2019. Let's be safe here.
Oh, seriously.
I don't know
I
how
don't
I
think
feel
it was
about
a
it.
good enough spoiler, or not spoiler.
Tease?
Like tease. Yeah.
well,
I
because
don't
it
think
wasn't
good
even a
enough tease.
Flash tease. It was the event tease.
Yeah, it was just
Well,
this
it was
date's
slight
changing.
Flash tease because it's implying that he still disappears.
I think a
during
better,
that
yeah,
event.
well, that's true, but a better teaser would have been another character coming in, or like a costume,
Right.
or like a hand of some kind. I don't know, something
Or-
that's more than just a date change.
like change the date and then like cut it off before it fully changes, but change Flash.
yeah, change
And
Flash,
like halfway
change the
through
picture.
it moving,
Yeah.
it goes to black. Therefore,
Yeah.
you don't know who it's moving
Right.
to because then
Yes.
you're like, oh, there's so many possibilities
Yes.
now. Everyone's gonna think
Right.
Oliver Queen because of what happened in the other thing,
Yeah.
but you don't fully know.
Yeah.
Theories. We can make a rant. Why
Yeah.
didn't you let us have that rant? Anyway,
Okay, so they've already announced the fall season of what CW is going to be putting out this year.
Okay.
And I found a tweet that was hilarious, and I can't remember what it was. Let me see if I can find it real quick before I go through this.
Okay.
Oh shit, we're already at 37 minutes.
That's why we're ending this, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone tweeted out. No. That's not it. All right, I'll just have to try to remember to the best of my ability. So anyway, they tweeted out, they lumped every night into a specific demographic. It's like a blatantly obvious.
What?
That kind of makes sense, and in a way, is actually kind of smart.
Every night into a demographic.
So Monday is All American and Black Lightning, their urban demographic.
Oh, okay.
Tuesday is The Flash and Arrow now, so everyone's referring to it as OG Arrowverse
I was
night.
gonna say,
Okay. Okay.
Wednesday, they said, is Teen Girl Night, Riverdale and Nancy Drew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thursday is Supernatural and Legacy, so everyone's like, it's the OGCW stuff going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friday is Charmed and Dynasty. I think somebody said it was like, oh, that's middle-aged
that's
housewife.
Okay.
And then Sunday is Batwoman and Supergirl, so someone was like, well, that's Girl Power Night.
Yeah.
Power night.
Okay.
So that's what we have to look forward to this fall.
So when is Nancy Drew on again?
Wednesdays
kidding.
with
I'm
Riverdale.
kidding. I don't
No,
care.
that's you. That's
No,
you.
no.
You gave Andy Supergirl.
No. You're. We're gonna fight over Nancy Drew.
I'm not doing Supergirl.
No, one of them is. The other one gets Nancy Drew.
Supergirl.
Someone in chat said it
Fine.
got better-ish. Because once
Like
again,
I said,
it got
I'm
better.
so sick of hearing that.
So
Make it
Just
through.
stay better.
Just make it through the entire series, and the ending is okay.
all right, guys, well, we're going to wrap up here on the CTV show. We're going to move on to Comic Strong Weekly here on Twitch. But if you are watching this on Twitch, thank you for your support. This is supported by our Twitch subs. For only $4.99, you get access to a bunch of emotes, you get no ads on our channel, and you get to support us in doing these shows for you. Or you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/comicstorian, where for only $1, you get this. You get Comic Strong Weekly, you get Comics Experiment, you get all the other videos we give you early, you get all the shows you see here on Twitch, and if you miss one, we just give it to you over there. So if you want to support us, those are 2 great ways to do so. Either way, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Close it out. Cut.